Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Bailey,
Present.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Ms. Herbert. Here. Dr. Bustles.
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Present.
Mr. McDowell. Mr. McDowell. Mayor Rickaman.
Here. Could everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Brown, would you do us the honor, please?
My pleasure, Mr. Mayor. If you would bow your heads, please. Dear Lord, thank you. Thank you for this beautiful day that you have given us to enjoy. Thank you for this beautiful city that we have the pleasure to live. Thank you for our citizens, the people we serve, and those that count on us to make good decisions that will affect their today and their tomorrow. Thank you for our staff and their commitment to making our city the best city in South Carolina. Thank you for our council as we strive to make every day count and every decision matter as we work to improve Columbia and our quality of life. Please help us make today and every day matter as we work for the people of this great city. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor Rickaman and council. We will start with the adoption of the agenda. There are a few amendments, Mayor, to include item number 1, the deferral of item 25, appointments to the Citizens Advisory Committee to Community Development, and item number 32, the deferral of the discussion of the employment of an employee pursuant to South Carolina Code, Section 3470A1, City Manager and City Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, so move.
So we have a motion. Is there a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion, questions pertaining to that? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bailey.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Herbert.
Aye.
Dr. Bustles.
Aye.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mr. McDowell. Mayor Rickaman.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, do you mind taking me out of personal privilege just for something very briefly? If it's okay with council.
Sure.
How many of y'all went to the parade this weekend in here? Show of hands. I just want to take a moment to thank the City of Columbia staff for the parade. Was just excellent from the police department, Parks and Rec, social media. It was really stand out, and I just want to make sure y'all receive the credit for that because it was a great event. And I think sometimes we wake up in the morning and think things just happen, but there's a big, long planning process. So y'all did a great job.
What
We
I'm
just-
more shocked at is the fact that not all of y'all raised your hands.
I think they were scared.
Clearly, we got to have a conversation after this meeting.
Oh, I was told they can't really hear me on the microphone, so.
Oh, okay.
A show of hands, who went to parade this weekend for the Gamecocks? Okay,
That's a little bit.
still not that much.
Awesome. Well, we considered it our joy and our pleasure, but we appreciate you, Councilman Bailey, and all of council for the support. It's all about community, isn't it, when we see those events happen that way. So thank you for your support. With that, we will have public input related to the items on the agenda. These are for individuals who are allotted up to 3 minutes to address City Council about items on the agenda. Items requiring a public hearing cannot be addressed at this time. And we do have a few signed up. No, ma'am?
Not for this
Not for
period.
this period. Okay, so none signed up for this period, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
The approval of minutes. Item number 1, council is asked to approve the March 19th, 2024 and April 2nd, 2024 council meeting minutes.
To approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any further discussions, audits, changes, questions? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Herbert. Aye. Dr. Bustles.
Aye.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mr. McDowell. Mayor Rickaman.
Aye.
I would like to know that Reverend McDowell is online, so we need to work on maybe his connection.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to also remind all of our speakers as they come to the microphone, as well as council members and myself, to speak directly into the mic in order to assist with our audio. We're going to get this audio straight at some point as we continue to try. With that, we are at a period of presentations, and this is a pretty exciting one. Item number 2, the City of Columbia rebranding and logo reveal. And I will take this one on. Mr. Mayor and Council, you know, at you all's direction, we embarked upon this process several months ago where we have engaged Crawford Consultants to assist us with our marketing efforts to rebrand the City of Columbia, which includes a pretty fabulous new logo, new fonts, new color palettes, and we are at the point now to share that with the public. And after that, we will be also either tonight or in the morning sharing on all social media handles the new logo, the new look, the new feel, and encouraging all of you, as well as our city employees who will be our ambassadors on this effort, to also share and take part in our launch of the new logo for the City of Columbia. We will have new personal social channels that we recommend that city leaders utilize and our employees to reshare the post that is scheduled to go out to go live and add their own captions to it. We're going to have some sample captions again for your personal use. We will have a Q&A document that includes potential questions from our citizens and stakeholders, and internal branding 101 sessions for our employees to attend, because we have a whole branding guidelines that must be followed by our internal employees as well as our external stakeholders. And we talked about that a little bit earlier today, that we want to make sure that as we embark upon this journey, it's consistent and that everyone is aware of how to utilize our brand. So we'll also have external branding 101 sessions for our stakeholders as well. But we couldn't be more excited. And with that, we are going to launch the video that you all took part in. I want to give some shouts out to the very creative Justin Stevens and Ms. Jayana Carter on our staff for working so hard to help pull this together. And with that, I think we're ready. Yes, team? Yes, yes. I hope so. Here we go.
The City of Columbia has always been a place of innovation and leadership, constantly transforming and progressing. At this exact moment, we are experiencing a very exciting time in our city's history, where countless crucial projects are underway that will lead us into the future. No longer will Columbia be the best-kept secret. Our progress calls for a refreshed city identity.
And our identity starts with a strong strategy of embracing who we are, a stronghold of community spirit, committed to civic and personal progress.
The economic engine of South Carolina reigns in Columbia, and we are grateful and thankful that this kind of attitude has taken place within our city.
Today, we're excited to announce a new logo and visual identity for the city that will help propel us into the future. It represents who we are today and who we will be in years to come.
We're confident this logo and other new branding will help create greater consistency across the city and our public communications, instill a sense of pride, and show that we are a city that can and will stand out.
Our new brand is built on Columbia's unique culture, strengths, and vibrancy. Its elements include our three rivers, the South Carolina state flag, and is wrapped in the letter C for Columbia. Its message is fresh and bold, and it makes a statement that Columbia's day has come.
An updated color palette complements this new logo and brand identity. It speaks to the dynamicism of our city, it boldly communicates who we are, and references our beautiful outdoor amenities.
We are proud of who we are and are excited of who we'll become. We invite you to embrace Columbia as a leader, an example of excellence, a great place to live, work, and play. Join the momentum, and always remember, together we are Columbia.
We came close.
as we launch. If you noticed, the Together We Are Columbia is very important. It's just a slight take on We Are Columbia as we've known it, but it's a very important addition. Together, comma, We Are Columbia, period, is the way that the guidelines designate that we utilize it, with the capital letters, focusing again on who we are as a community. And we know that the character of our community was a really big focus for you all, that we use that spirit that shows our rivers and our community in the light that it is. And hey, I agree, we've been the best kept secret, but no more of that. We are embracing who we are as a capital city, a university town, full of wonderful entrepreneurial spirit and businesses. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council, for allowing us to do this.
Well, thank you, City Manager. You know, we sat down almost, it feels like a long time ago, but it was really around the corner with an objective to really tell our story and give us that facelift and be the capital city that we can be. And that strategic plan that came from council and working with the staff, and y'all executed this. You took what we asked you to pursue and brought it to life. And I think that's so important. And as we've seen with the Rapid Shelter, we've seen these others, we really appreciate, you know, what's being done and excited to share this. And y'all deserve a round of applause.
Thank Well, we couldn't have done it without you all's, you know, push that this is the right way to go. And again, for the community to understand this, the mission was to instill pride in every resident by actively embracing our diversity, caring for our neighbors, and sharing a common purpose. And you all set that tone from the beginning. The key themes with our messaging will be pride, community, welcoming, opportunity. And again, we talked about the brand direction is Together We Are Columbia.
Well, we've steadily said we are making strides together, and we've said that for the last almost 3 years as a group, and encapsulating that into that. And it's a pretty exciting day to see that. I really do think it roots to the heart of who we are.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again.
So to share, you all get it first. I think Ms. Veronica has the first hot off the printer presses or whatever it would be for T-shirts, your first shirt that will be the merchandising that we will hopefully implement for community as well.
Mr. Mayor, may I? Well, she's passing the shirts
Yes.
out. Well, I would just like to say we have come so far from my colleagues making fun of me for using social media too much to now also having a fellow millennial on council to now everybody thinking about how they're going to help promote this new brand. And so for the public, I really want to share with you that this is so much more than a logo. You know, one of the things that I think all of us, when we came on with this new council, had a lot of consensus around was that we do some really great things, and sometimes we just get so caught up in our own little worlds that we don't talk about them. We don't sell our city in a way that it deserves, and we often sell ourselves really short. And so there was a lot that went into this exercise, as City Manager mentioned, including looking at the ways in which other groups that we work with talk about the city as well. And so I'd love to see y'all, you know, rock some swag with our new logo, talk about it, you know, share it with your friends and colleagues and really embrace it. I really, truly believe that, you know, Columbia can be a destination that people choose over other people, other places. I mean, you saw what happened this past Sunday where we had hundreds, thousands of people out supporting our 3-time championship team. And so, you know, this is just the beginning in terms of us hopefully having a more cohesive, prideful voice that really talks about all the great things that are happening, but also in terms of our work to be more transparent and give you all a more positive experience as it comes to engaging with the city. So wanted to thank Ms. Wilson and the team and everybody that came together to make this happen. This is much more than a logo for me, especially, and I know for council. It's really, I think, defining where we are, which is a turning point in Columbia. And I hope that it is embraced for years to come.
So we have with us too, just another recognition, Mayor, because I think it goes to the heart of what we're talking about, the interest in our students in Columbia. We have the Benedict College Political Science 330 class, the state and local politics class, and they are under the leadership of their professor, Ms. Cynthia Joseph. And I know she's mentioned to me how interested they are in the things that Dr. Bustles just described and being a part of our city fabric.
Would y'all stand up and be recognized, please? That's our future leadership right there.
Absolutely. I know they're professors, so I know they're listening intently in case they have a quiz. I don't know. All right. Well, thank y'all so much.
Take a picture with you.
Please, I think that would be perfect. Absolutely.
Yes, I want it for social media.
Doesn't sound like you.
Yes, you got it. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Alicia.
Huh? You like those stickers? Tote bag stickers.
Yes.
They'll all be for
the
sale
things.
downstairs.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, you all. Thank you to our public and media relations staff. They've done a great job working with Crawford. We are so appreciative. We are moving along to our next wonderful, there's so much going on in the city of Columbia right now. So we have the Dr. John H. Dozier Day proclamation for our new president of Columbia College, the Honorable Daniel J. Rickman, to do the presentation. Mr.
Dr.
Mayor?
Dozier, would you join us at the podium, please? It's a great honor to have you here, sir. Excited about your tenure moving forward, and we've had a great time already having conversations about what we can do to improve each other's lives, and I'm so excited about what's coming forward for not only for Columbia College, but for Columbia as a whole. But with that, John H. Dozier is Columbia's 21st president. Dr. Dozier received his Bachelor of Science in Marketing from South Carolina State University and was presented with the Distinguished Alumnus Award in 2015. He went on to earn both a Master's of Business Administration and a Doctor of Education degrees from DePaul University in Chicago. He's held a variety of leadership positions in the Chicago Community College system, including Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs at Kennedy King College and Wilbur Wright College, Chief Information Officer for the entire system, and the President of Kennedy King College. He joined the University of South Carolina in 2013, where he served as inaugural Chief Diversity Officer and Associate Provost. He most recently served as the Institute Community and Equity Officer at MIT, Massachusetts Institution of Technology. Dr. Dozier is married to Victoria, who is a mechanical engineer, and they have 3 children. With that, we wanted to recognize your investiture. And so as the mayor, I, Daniel Rickman of Columbia, South Carolina, and my fellow members of City Council who proclaim April 20th, this Saturday, as to be Dr. John H. Dozier Day in the city of Columbia. And before we do a photo, I'd like you to just share some words with us, please.
Thank you. Mayor Rickaman, City Council, our honorable City Manager, Ms. Wilson. You know, this is home. Columbia, South Carolina. I've left it. Me and my wife have left Columbia, South Carolina twice, and Columbia, South Carolina has brought us back home twice. We don't plan to leave for a third time.
Amen.
When I think about these recognitions, I mean, they honor an individual when in fact, nothing that I've ever done has been based on just me. I've always had wonderful people supporting me, wonderful people that have mentored, advocated, and some of those people are here now. My wife, Victoria, and my daughter, Sophia, are here. And even the senior leadership team from Columbia College is also here. Please, would you stand and be recognized?
I see you brought all the koalas with you.
We run deep. We run deep. You know, I want to make a appreciative of the work that the City of Columbia is doing in its rebranding efforts. Something that Mrs. Wilson mentioned was Columbia's seen as the best kept secret with me, because I think that we can say the same thing about Columbia College. It's been the best kept secret. But we both are looking to dispel that myth. We're no longer a secret. And in fact, Mayor Rickaman, it shouldn't be lost on you, council, or anyone else, that Columbia College is the only college in Columbia that bears the city's name. And we're here to partner with you to make sure that the prosperity of Columbia continues to be on the rise, and always. And we're looking to deepen our engagement with the community and make sure that we are partnered with Columbia and a part of the prosperity that we will bring to this wonderful city. Thank you immensely for this honor. Thank you, Council, for your support. Councilwoman Herbert, thank you, because you are the person whose district we live in, and we certainly appreciate all of your support.
Y'all are mine now.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
We are.
I'm sorry, I hate to tell you, she shares you. She forgets there are 3 other people in that district.
Well, we are Columbia's college, and I thank you, Mayor Rickaman. Thank you all for this honor.
And Mayor Rickaman, if I could just add, I am so grateful to have the Doziers back. I have lived on Colonial Drive a couple of times, but I'm familiar with Columbia College. My mother graduated from Columbia College. I have family members who graduated from Columbia College. My uncle Claude Crumlin worked at Columbia College for 27 years. And I'm on the street with your softball, baseball field. So I am excited about the future. I'm excited about what you all can bring. And I think that you're also an example of how important it is. And not that everyone has to do it, but when you leave and you see other things and you have other experiences, and then you bring them back home. So I'm delighted to have you all. I'm excited about the future, and we're going to do some things. I'm excited.
Thank you. May I have one more?
Oh, absolutely.
It kind of dawned on me while I was sitting next to my wife that I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to live this down. April 20th is also my wife's birthday. So for me to have a day
Don't worry,
on my wife's
Tiffany's is
birthday,
coming your way.
I'd like to make a motion that we change the day to a
Wise beyond your years, Councilman.
That's a good one. And our beautiful city clerk is a proud alum of Columbia College. Yes.
Now, fighting koalas, you may leave if you have other engagements.
We will move forward with presentations. Item 4, the Second Chance Month Proclamation, the Honorable Daniel J. Rickaman, Mayor.
Mr. Young, will you please join us at the podium?
Huh?
What's going on, everyone? Blessings.
Thank you. So we're real excited today to have you here and to recognize you with this proclamation. So I'm going to read the proclamation and then give you an opportunity to say a few words, and we'll share some more information as well. But America was founded on a strong foundation of perseverance, even in the face of adversity. The belief that every person deserves to be treated with dignity as well as respect. Whereas individuals returning from correctional facilities after paying their debt to society for committing a crime still face significant challenges to access or to regain basic rights and necessities. A person's conviction history should not exclude them from employment, housing, public benefits, or the right to vote. April has been designated as Second Chance Month in 2017, and ever since then, every U.S. president, governors in more than 25 states, including South Carolina, have brought awareness to second chance efforts by recognizing April as Second Chance Month. These efforts have proven beneficial, impactful for Americans with a conviction history and have contributed to the strength of our nation, this state, and our great city. Whereas successful reentry and reintegration programs into society for Americans with a criminal record means restoring self-worth, responsibility, affirming human dignity, all while contributing to the strength of this great city. City of Columbia reaffirms its commitment to helping residents forge new beginnings and that they have rightly earned. So now, therefore, I, Daniel Rickaman, the mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, along with my fellow members of City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of April, and I got to put this footnote in it, you got to share this with the NCAA National Championship women's basketball team. Second Chance Month, and we personally and respectfully honor you, Lester Young, not only for your generous work with your foundation, Path to Redemption, but your commitment to our community. And you've probably done more as an individual than most people have done, especially in this area. And we just want to take the time to honor you as well. To encourage the creation of opportunities for individuals, employers, and communities to extend second chance to those who have paid their debt. And we want to give you a heartfelt thank you on behalf of the 144,000 residents. Thank you.
That's right.
Thanks, City Council. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Thank the citizens of Columbia, South Carolina. I want to just say that I'm eternally grateful for this opportunity. I remember sitting in prison facing a life sentence with the possibility of never walking out of prison. And I remember when someone told me the power of writing a vision down and chasing that vision. And I remember sitting down in that cell, not knowing that if I will ever walk out of prison, but I truly believe that with that conversation I had with this mentor of mine, he told me that anything is possible. He said, God said, write the vision down on a plain tablet and chase it. And that's exactly what I did in prison. Even though, as I said, the 3% chance was I was going to die in prison, I still believed in that vision. And today now to be able to see that path of redemption is something that I wrote in prison is now 10 years giving life to the citizens of Columbia, meeting those who are formerly incarcerated, struggling with different legal barriers that are impeding their growth. That path of redemption has played a tremendous role here in Columbia by empowering those with felony conviction with hope, but also letting the citizens of Columbia know that redemption is possible, that a person should not be judged based upon the conviction of their crime, but be given an opportunity to do just something completely different. So I'm internally grateful for the city of Columbia, the former city of Columbia as well, who I worked with closely to enact the ban the box policy in 2018, I believe.
Yep.
And here we are. Right now, we're doing the same thing. So I just want to encourage you all, those who are listening to my voice, to please understand the power of second chance, that the city of Columbia has passed the bill, but I ask that you all in your respective businesses do the same thing by joining together with Columbia, being one Columbia, meaning that those with felony convictions still is part of Columbia, even though they have committed a crime. And I think that with that, we can continue to create a more inclusive Columbia as we move forward. So again, I'm grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank my wife for believing in that vision. I want to thank my team. Someone who believed in me when I was in prison, when she just saw it as a vision and she supported it. She helped breathe life into it. And as a result, we have my team here. We're in Department of Juvenile Justice. Path of Redemption is now working inside the Department of Juvenile Justice, where all of these men and women are working 7 days a week inside the Department of Juvenile Justice, mentoring and helping create a more inclusive, more successful path for those that are inside of the juvenile system. So again, thank the team. Thank everyone for this opportunity. Thank you again. You did?
Also wanted to take a minute to, the City of Columbia's Office of Violent Crime Prevention is partnering with Goodwill's Industries from the Upstate and the Midlands and the South Carolina Commission for Minority Affairs to bring Second Chance Month Panel and Community Resource Fair. That's going to be on April 27th from 11 to 3 at Goodwill on Decker Boulevard. It's the event is open to the public. It's free. The Rainy Day Fund will also be on site to assist attendees with any legal services. For more information, please reach out to our city Office of Violent Prevention and give us a call. Look on our website. You'll see the event. But that is April 27th from 11 to 3.
Thank you for sharing, Mayor. Item 5 is the National Small Business Week 2024 proclamation. The Honorable Daniel J. Rickman, Mayor. We would ask that Ms. Aisha Driggers and her team come forward.
Come on,
She's
team.
our
Don't leave her
Director of
standing
the
by
Office of
herself.
Business Opportunities. Yay.
So we're excited. We are here to celebrate Small Business Week and our entrepreneurs that contribute to the success of our community. We have a number of events scheduled for the upcoming week. It'll be April 29th through May 3rd. We'll start with a kickoff press conference. We partnered with Susan from the Columbia Chamber. She's here today. We'll be at the Tom's Creek Farmers Market Exchange doing that kickoff. And then on Tuesday, we partner with Richland Library as well as SBA to do a lender matchmaker event. to give entrepreneurs an opportunity to meet with lenders one-on-one. And then we will have our 11th annual Small Business Week conference on Wednesday, May 1st at Embassy Suites. It'll include breakout sessions. We partner with SBA to do their award ceremony and also a matchmaking opportunity for them. And then on Friday, we're excited about a Food Truck and Friends event. So we will have 4 food trucks, our mobile market from Tom's Creek, as well as animal services out to provide opportunities for Adopt a Pet. And so that will be on Friday, May 3rd at the REI parking lot. I also am glad that I have my staff here. I have an amazing staff. I know all departments at the city feel like they have an amazing staff, but we accomplish a lot with our team of 8, and I'm so proud to stand alongside them, and I appreciate their support. And before we get to the proclamation, I also have a special presentation. If Kalina could come forward. This is very timely that Kalina celebrates her 5 years with the city. It's a surprise, she didn't know. So she's been very instrumental to the coordination of our Small Business Week conference and all the events that we have. So Kalina, here's your 5-year pin. And also, here's your certificate of achievement. It's proudly presented to Kalina Ginyard. Thank you for your 5 years of service to the City of Columbia. You are a valued member of the organization, and we honor your service. It's signed by Ms. Wilson, our Director of Human Resources, Ms. Javis, and myself. Thank you, Kalina.
Thank you.
I just really hate that you don't like your job at all.
I love it.
I tell you, every time I see you, all you're doing is smiling. It makes me smile. It's so exciting. With that, I'd like to read the proclamation for Small Business Week. For more than 50 years, the U.S. Small Business Administration has celebrated National Small Business Week, which recognizes the critical contribution of America's entrepreneurs and small businesses. Small businesses are at the heart of every city, preserving traditional values while providing new ideas, new jobs, increased sustainability, and they always give back. Small businesses represent a tradition of hardworking, dedicated individuals living the American dream to provide for their families, to create job opportunities for their neighbors, their friends, and their cities, and to make invaluable contributions to their community. And we see this every day in Columbia. And it's one of our strengths, but it's also one of our untold stories that our new marketing campaign is really going to help highlight. Small businesses are vibrant and vital segments of our economy and a huge economic force throughout the nation. Residents of our community and communities across the nation are being asked to support small businesses and merchants during Small Business Week and hopefully throughout the year. Make local and small your first choice. The City of Columbia and the Columbia Chamber of Commerce recognize the value of small businesses within our community and their priceless contributions. So I, as the Mayor of Columbia, Daniel Rickeman, along with my fellow council members, do proclaim the week of April 28th through May 4th, Small Business Week.
Another presentation, Mayor, that is somewhat related because this next, I guess she's a legend, I would say, Ms. Diane Sumter. She works very closely with our Office of Business Opportunities, and she is here the President and Chief Executive Officer of DISA, Inc., Ms. Diane Sumter, to present the South Carolina Minority Business Development Agency report. I think she's here.
Oh, she's here. She's passing the buck.
Oh, where is she?
She's here.
Okay.
Good
Sorry.
afternoon, Mayor Rickaman, and to City Council and Ms. Teresa Wilson. Diane Sumter is being a bit shy today.
The
so-
first time in her entire life, I promise you.
So I'll provide you with an agency update. Okay, my name is Camille Shaw, and I serve as Project Director for the South Carolina MBDA Business Center, which is operated by Diane Sumter of DISA, Inc. But before I begin, I would like to thank the city for your continued collaboration, partnership, and support of the small business community. The city has supported DISA and the center for over the past 20 years, and we are grateful. And we also appreciate how well Ms. Aisha Driggers and Clint Shealy and the entire engineering and OBO department work well with us. So the South Carolina MBDA Business Center is partially funded by the U.S. Department of Commerce, Minority Business Development Agency. We work with socially and economically disadvantaged businesses of companies throughout the city and the state of South Carolina to help them scale up, build capacity, and grow. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share our 2023 annual report with you. It's called the Year in Review, and you may have copies in your packet, and I brought extra copies for today. The Year in Review summarizes our project accomplishments and highlights client success stories. Last year, the center worked with clients to generate over $42 million in revenue and contracts.
Say that number again.
$42 million in revenue and contracts, and over $31 million in capital and bonding. And we provide services to some of our clients in the local Columbia area. And just to name a few, our clients consist of Construction Dynamics, People's Choice Plumbing, Corley Construction, Frank's Electrical Services, AJ's Global Services, Enviro Ag Science, the Centric Group, Thomas Media Group, and Optus Bank. And that's just a few. So we appreciate the city's partnership with investing with us in us last summer to conduct a 4-part series on business succession planning. So the succession planning included topics of how to avoid common succession planning mistakes, developing a contingency plan, how to increase business valuation, legal and accounting issues, and how to prepare to transition and exit the business. More than 285 persons registered for the series, and we had an average of 65 attendees per training, and the training is still available for review on demand. In addition, the city partnered with us this last fall to host a workshop on simple access to SBA surety bonds. The workshop was facilitated by Peter Gibbs of Foundation Surety Company, and he is a former director of the U.S. SBA Surety Guarantee Program. So the foundation was instrumental in underwriting over $11 million in payment, performance, and bid bonds to the small businesses who attended the workshop. So we thank you for that as well. And just wanted to share, as we look and move forward in the future, we are researching new industries. We are looking at key focus areas to include electric vehicle development, with the NEVI program, the National Electrical Vehicle Infrastructure Program. We're looking at ways that companies can maximize and become more efficient using artificial intelligence, as well as broadband opportunities. So we plan to continue to serve as a resource and offer trainings to firms so that they can build capacity and transition to a more innovative and sustainable economy, as well as equip clients with tools and knowledge to seize opportunities in new markets. So this is just a summary of the past year, and we thank you again for your continued support of the small business community.
So next year when you come, it's going to be 52 million, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Diane said 100 million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I have a second, please?
Yes.
I just wanted to thank both of you and my constituent, Ms. Diane Sumter. But small business, all kidding aside, is the backbone of every community. It's harder now than ever, I think, to be a small business and to operate in a world that's continually becomes more and more complicated. I think it's really, really important that people have this type of guidance and this type of help and this type of leadership to be able to be in business, make a difference, make their community better, and really continue to reinvest their efforts into making our community great. So thank you for what you do.
Mr. Mayor, as we prepare to take on the consent agenda items, I was trying to do a quick sound check for Reverend McDowell. Councilman McDowell has been on, and I wanted to make sure that he's no longer having difficulties with audio. Reverend McDowell?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome.
Well, I thank you, Ms. Wilson, and I thank my fellow colleagues, but I also thank Corey and technology for allowing me to have a voice. I wanted to say something a few minutes ago as it related to Dr. Dozier and the Columbia College experience, and welcome him back home. My sister attended Columbia College, and I'm grateful to that. And I hope every word is heard by members of council.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Consent agenda items 7 through 12, Mr. Mayor and Council, for your consideration.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Now Mom messed up. Dr. Bustles?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you. Did I get everyone?
Okay, great. Ordinance's first reading, item 13, ordinance number 2024-032, amending the 1998 Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia, South Carolina, Chapter 23, Utilities and Engineering, Article 7, Stormwater Management, 23205, the Stormwater Service Charge Rates.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussions, questions, concerns? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll, please?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
And Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolutions, item 14, resolution number R 2024-019, certifying building site as an abandoned building pursuant to the South Carolina Abandoned Buildings Revitalization Act, Title 12, Chapter 67, Section 1267-100 of the South Carolina Code of Laws as amended regarding property located at 1815 Gervais Street.
Motion to approve?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 15, resolution number R 2024-024, approval for acceptance of the Congaree River levee site containing 12.93 acres and access easement on Richland County as listed at that TMS number and maintenance responsibility. for the Congaree River levee located adjacent to the Metro wastewater treatment plant.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Event resolutions, item 16, resolution number R 2024-012, authorizing consumption of beer, wine, and liquor at the Chi Iota Scholarship Fund, Inc.'s Secret Garden 2 in the 1600 block of Blanding Street between Pickens Street and Henderson Street on Saturday, May the 4th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Item 17, resolution number R 2024-021, authorizing consumption of beer and wine beverages only at Triangle Veg Fest, Columbia Veg Fest at City Roots Farm, 1005 Airport Boulevard.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Questions? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving into a period of public hearing and first reading for zoning planning matters, individuals are allotted up to 3 minutes to address City Council about items requiring a public hearing, and our Planning and Development Director, Ms. Krista Hampton, will assist.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your first item, number 18, is an annexation, a future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for 500 Spears Creek Church Road. This proposal is to request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of Urban Edge Community Activity Center, and a zoning of institutional general district for the pending annexation.
Is there anybody here to speak for or against this item?
Mayor Rickaman, no one has signed up.
No one has signed up. Mr. Brown,
Motion to approve.
got a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions from council? Seeing none, needing Madam Clerk, read the roll.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 19, an annexation, future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for 2.65 acres on the south side of Jacobs Mill Pond Road. A request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of Urban Edge Residential Large Lot, and a zoning of Planned Development District for the annexation.
Is there anyone here to speak for or against this item?
No one has signed up to speak.
Is there a motion, Mr. Brown?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's got a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, read the roll.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles? Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 20, annexation, future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for 4543 Broad River Road. Request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of community activity corridor and urban edge mixed residential, and assign a zoning of employment campus district and a residential mixed district for the annexation.
Mayor, we have Ms. Lisa Taylor signed up when you're ready for
All
public
right,
comment.
Ms. Taylor?
Was it a gentleman by chance? There was a gentleman here earlier. No. So, Ms. Hampton, there was a gentleman here who left, he may have left. His question was about making sure whatever happens that the properties don't flood because they had snake problems years ago. I'm not familiar with those issues.
Certainly, the property would be subject to stormwater control that does not permit additional stormwater to exit the property. So we would review that, any development.
Thank you, ma'am.
Additionally, just one other point to note is that the rear that you see in RM2 will remain. That is a residential zoning buffer from the commercial that will be developed to the front. So that will assist in buffering that development from the residential to the rear.
Thank you.
Ms. Herbert,
Oh, so moved.
do we have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, I believe we're ready for the roll.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Last item, number 21, is an annexation, future land use map amendment and zoning map amendment for 1101 Kinley Road. Request to annex the property, assign a land use classification of community activity corridor and a zoning of community activity center corridor district for the annexation.
Is there anyone here signed up to speak for or against this item? Madam Clerk, did we have anybody sign up or write in?
No one signed
All
up.
right.
So moved.
Ms. Herbert has a motion on the floor to move.
Second.
We have a second. Dr. Bustles, any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
That concludes your zoning public hearing.
Thank you, Ms. Hampton.
Thank you, Krista. Appointments, mayor and council, as Ms. Jenkins comes forward to assist. Items 22 through 27 are for city council appointments to include the Accommodations Tax Advisory Committee, the Capital City Lake Murray Regional Tourism Board, Central Midlands Regional Transit Authority, the Comet, Hospitality Tax Advisory Committee, and Riverbank Zoo, again deferring Citizens Advisory Committee to Community Development.
So it looks like the recommendation is to go ahead and reappoint all the members as stated.
Yes, for accommodations tax, as well as hospitality tax due to the nature of the projects they have coming up and the short time frame.
So for accommodations tax, is there a motion to reappoint?
So moved.
Got
Second.
a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk?
I just would like to note that they do have staggered terms, and just for the record, you all are appointing them on the new staggered terms.
For hospitality tax,
Is that
yes.
hospitality, not
Yes, for accommodations, it's the same 2-year term, but for hospitality.
Accommodations is all together.
All right, thank you. Okay,
But yes, for hospitality.
thank you. Mr. Bailey?
For clarity, this is just for accommodations tax right now? We're voting?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
For Capital City Lake Murray Regional Tourism, it is actually a council member appointment, not a citizen appointment.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to appoint Councilman Tyler Bailey to replace Howard Duvall and Tina Howard to continue to serve in the ex officio, Councilwoman Tina Herbert, to continue to serve in the office ex officio position. I cannot read her handwriting, I'm sorry.
That was in a form of a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Congratulations, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
For Central Midlands Regional Transit Authority, we're asking to reappoint Councilman Will Brennan, Board Chair, and Ms. Caroline Gleaton for their second terms.
I'd like to make the motion to reappoint Ms. Gleaton and Mr. Brennan.
Thank you.
Second.
Just clarification, Ms. Clayton, did she serve more than two, what's the?
This will be her third.
bylaws? That's the ruling?
We'll have to get clarification on that, but she has a fantastic attendance record. and
Can you
participation.
amend until we check that, just so we stay consistent with procedure, as we've done with all the other boards?
So essentially, continue to serve month to month, as we confirm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, we can get it resolved for the May 5th meeting. So.
So what's my motion?
Can you amend the motion?
Yes. I'd like to amend my motion to reappoint Councilman Will Brennan and to appoint Ms. Gleaton to conserve on a month-to-month basis until we can clarify her terms, because we need to have someone
Yes.
in that position right now.
Understood. Thank you.
Is
That
there a
was the motion.
second to that motion? A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, we have the reappointment of the current committee members for the Hospitality Tax Advisory Committee with the staggered terms as the clerk stated, and as well as on the memo.
So if we take the recommendations that are before us, that would be Mr. Chad Elsey appointed for 1-year term, Mr. Hank Davis for a 2-year term, Mr. James Williams for a 2-year term, Mr. Jonathan Taylor for a 2-year term, Kelly Glenn for a 2-year term, Joseph Kendrick for a 1-year term, Matthew Bridges for a 1-year term, Putnam Patel for a 2-year term, Sharon Thompson for a 2-year term, and then we have 2 vacancies.
Yes.
Second, that was a motion, right?
Yeah, there's a motion, is second.
That was not for the vacancies.
Not for the vacancies.
No, that was just for the reappointments, and then we'll take the
We'll vote on the
vacancies
vacancies.
separate. So, Madam Clerk, could you
Wait, can we
read
have discussion, please?
for the current?
For the current, yes.
Yes.
So almost a year ago, we removed ex officio members. We've talked about this like 5 times, and I'm very unclear on why we continue to list an ex officio. According to our boards and commissions guidelines, we don't have ex officio members.
Well, the title may not necessarily be correct, but the issue came through the Arts Committee, and there was a discussion that there should have been historically one arts position. I don't know if it said ex officio or not.
Okay, well
And then
then-
that was sent to the Administrative Policy Committee, I believe. And so there was consensus that at least an art position needed to be on there. I'm not saying if it was ex officio or
correct.
not, but I do remember
correct.
that part, so that's why that's.
Okay, well, I would like for us to, since we have been consistent with the city residency requirements and everything, I mean, then we need to revisit, and if this person will be called something else to fit our guidelines, that's fine, but we can't have things that are not aligned with our past rules and regulations for our boards and commissions.
We currently aren't voting on that.
I know, but I wanted to make
That's
sure
fine.
that
Discussion
it's on the record so that staff knows.
Yeah, and it's correct. You're not on Administrative Policy Committee?
I don't recall us having this conversation, but we have a couple of things still tabled to meet about, so,
This is one of
yeah.
them.
Yeah, we haven't met about this.
This is one of the things that was discussed.
So with that, Madam Clerk, can you read the motion for those reappointments, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have 2 open positions. Are we have any nominees for those?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Ms. Julie Roof to one of the vacant positions on the Hospitality Tax Advisory Committee.
Second.
We've got a motion for Julie Roof and a second. Any questions or concerns?
Would she be at large or restaurateur at large?
At large.
Large.
With that, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Aye. Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Is there a nominee for the restaurateur? Hearing none, so we will move that to our May 5th agenda and try to get us a restaurateur.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just so I'm clear, the instructions are just to get clarity on what the title of that position is supposed to be? The art position?
I mean, it's not formally codified, so I think it might need to go to the process if they are going to have a designated arts person, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was sent to the committee specifically to address that issue.
Right, but we haven't met about it.
It was in committee. It was. It was just that, yeah, it was. It was, to the point of Dr. Bustle's making about ex officio, I think that's just probably just a scrivener's error or something. But the issue was addressed in committee. And I think from my memory, the resolution of it was that historically there had been an arts dedicated person representing the arts, and the committee decided to honor that. I think was basically the gist of it. So
That's
we
correct.
can certainly check the record, Dr. Bustles,
I
if
may
you
not have
prefer.
been,
But
Well,
I probably
would-
wasn't
I
at the
would-
meeting, it's okay. That's good, I'm glad we addressed it, I just want to make sure we're consistent with whatever we have.
right, we'll remove the ex
Yeah.
officio reference.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
did.
And
Uh,
Madam Clerk, I
Madam,
apologize.
yeah, we did address that. And for the record, I think it would be advantageous that we look at this again, not to just to have additional conversation for clarity purposes.
Okay, so are you all moving forward with your appointment then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And
Thank you.
I apologize. I was going by the book, not the agenda. I jumped 2 items ahead.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, you're fine.
Okay. Next, we have the Riverbank Zoo with the reappointment of Mike Velasco for his second term.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
So move.
Do we have a recommendation for the Riverbank Zoo?
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Mike Velasco for a second term.
Is there a second?
Reverend McDowell had already moved it, so we have a second.
Okay. A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. For City Council Committee referrals, reports, and new business, item 28 is a referral that really the staff and I are asking to be formally referred to for the review of a draft ordinance related to right-of-way signage as requested by city administration. So this is an issue regarding, I would call them nuisance signs that we see sometimes cluttering our right-of-way, the light poles, et cetera. And so the staff with legal, Ms. Jasmine Kears, has been working on a draft ordinance. I know that Councilman Brennan had really championed this effort that we get something on the books. So we're at the point now to review that with you all. And I think it'd be great if we could move it into committee first, if you all don't mind. And Mr. Brennan suggested it go into public safety. We have an upcoming public safety
April
committee.
30th.
April 30th, 11 a.m.
And we just wanted to go ahead and get that formal referral in there. And we'll do that review with the committee first. In addition, since that work has been done, I'll have Missy or Krista come forward. There's an additional request, or maybe a few requests about signage in our right-of-ways, having access that is not nuisance by any means, but we feel like we need to bring it to council's attention because the request concerns electronic signage and, maybe naming, some type of naming rights. And so we wanted to get that in front of the committee as well. If you feel once she explains it that it could be tacked on to this, issue of right-of-way signage in general, going to Public Safety Committee. I think this is more of a policy issue, so you may want to make a separate referral to Administrative Policy Committee. Is that right, Missy?
Yes, ma'am, it is. Yeah. So to explain that a little more detail, we've received multiple requests to place signage in the right-of-way commemorating individuals, as well as new types of vertical banners on utility poles and light poles. The new signage is not sponsored by the city, so we're really looking to receive policy guidance from council before we bring encroachments forward for consideration.
I would say we add it to the agenda. Yeah. And go ahead and address it. I know we've been getting a lot of calls about it, some specific, especially on some of the commercial properties that sit back.
Sure.
And are clouded, I know, as well, but also understanding, having the committee go through it and make sure that we have the guidelines, I think would be a good way to move forward.
So, and for clarity, these aren't signs advertising businesses. These will be recognizing individuals. Normally, those are not placed in the right-of-way unless they're sponsored by the city, like your street signs. So these would be placards in the right-of-way. And then also a different style vertical banner is being requested by an agency.
Okay. So that's another issue. I want to add the other one. I think Ms. Hampton was looking for some clarity too with some of the businesses that were set back that had some unique requests on visibility, and it's in our right-of-way. So if we could add that as well.
Okay, and TK, you're good. I mean, it may be I don't know that it's part of the same ordinance that Jasmine's working on, but are you good with it all staying in public safety?
It wouldn't be part of the public safety ordinance. We can discuss it at the same time, but it wouldn't be part of that ordinance.
Well, who ultimately polices it? Zoning code?
Well, it becomes, it's been deemed a
planning
safety
policy,
issue, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't go under the same, it would be more like the policy y'all have for street naming and something like that.
So you think
versus-
that ought to go to administration?
Yeah.
There's the facility-related signage, but that's more like the naming. I think it's still sitting in Administrative Policy Committee, but it really can come out. I think there's just a couple of clarifications left with that. And was there something else about signage in one of the committees?
We're talking about bringing back like a brand control document. Did you all do that?
Yeah, I think we're going to capture that too through the effort we're now in with Crawford.
Okay.
But I mean, would you prefer this additional be an administrative policy?
Administrative,
Okay.
and then take the first
So
one.
we'll
to
make that
public safety.
recommendation as well.
Okay. So the first one then is item 28 as listed.
So move.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Now, is it, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
now is that the move to Administrative Policy Committee or Public Safety?
The latter half is moving to admin.
Okay.
I didn't realize 28 didn't specify to the Public Safety Committee. It should have. So for item 28, council is asked to refer the review of a draft ordinance related to right-of-way signage. And I would add that are nuisance-oriented signs to the Public Safety Committee as requested by city administration.
Thank you.
So move.
Got a motion, second?
Second.
We'll try that again.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
And Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then council is asked to refer the review of requests for right-of-way signage related to advertisements or by particular entities that is more controlled and/or the possible naming rights for individuals in the right-of-way to the Administrative Policy Committee.
Is there
Very
a
good.
motion? Got
So
a
moved.
motion? Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
So it's two parts.
Okay. Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles? Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, any other committee referrals, reports, or new business?
Anyone have anything else? Comes to the magical time, Madam Clerk.
Our public input. Individuals are allotted up to 3 minutes to address City Council about items not on the agenda. Items requiring a public hearing cannot be addressed at this time.
All right, we have several individuals signed up to speak. Ms. Cherry Wagoner.
Mr. Mayor, City Council. I'm Cherie Wagner, and I'm representing my sister Janae Wagner at 2015 Green Street. In 2004, the City of Columbia came to my sister sent in Mr. Ward, who was the Director of Construction Management, and Mr. Wells, who was and they threatened my sister that if she didn't sign her property rights over to the City of Columbia, they were going to do to her what they had to do. And it was over a Barco. They wanted to put his sewer line on her property. And I asked him, does he own any property rights in her property? He said no. I said, does the city have any property rights in Mr. Barco's? He said no. Understand what you're doing here. And he said, how would you, Mr. Wells did, how would you like it if you had sewer problems that you put your sewer lines on their property? He said, well, I would know. I'd have to go to my neighbor, not to the City of Columbia. So I asked him, I said, is this for anybody else? And he said, no. It was for a person in the back who'd sued my sister for adverse possession. And my sister won a precedent-setting case in the state of South Carolina. And the state Supreme Court, when he appealed it, ruled that anything on the back of her property from that property owner was a continuous trespass and was easily abated. So my sister had to hire an attorney, Mr. Andy Surratt, who told the city that they couldn't do what they wanted to do and to cease and desist, and they did. So in 2020, that was in 2004, in 2020, the city came back again at this same problem. And this is for two property owners. They called it now the Rocky Creek Project, and they told my sister that they sent a letter that they were going to take that land and they were going to put that sewer line through for them. I said, so I called up Miss Nash, who was the real estate division manager, and I told her, I said, the city is in possession, which the city is, of the videotape of that meeting with Mr. Wells and Mr. Ward. I said, and that was a federal crime under the color of law. I said, and the city has no easement rights on that property. And she said, well, I'll have to look into it. And she did, and then we got a little letter from the city that the city was not the property owner, that they admit that it's a private sewer line, and they were going to stop. So that was in 22. So 23, the property owners at 819 Hardin Street, they come in and they want to have a license to enter. And my sister hires an attorney, and we think that they're going back and forth with our attorney, and they go instead on commit a trespass on our property. And right now, we're wondering if the city wasn't involved in that. And they destroy thousands of dollars worth of fencing on our property. And when they find out that we've caught them on the property because we made a police report, they file a lawsuit. Do you mind if I go on?
Yeah, ma'am.
They filed a lawsuit against my sister for a license to enter. We go on April the 8th to court, and they have dropped the suit because they said they've come up with a different way of handling it, and I think that's the City of Columbia, because when I go to the property on Friday the 12th just a few days ago, I find this tape, which is a surveyor tape.
Surveyors, yes.
On my sister's iron fence, right where the sewer line is proposed. So I'm here to ask the city, did the city come on her property and help do that damage to her fence? And is the city going to go forward with this, which is for a sewer line on her private property? Because, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say this. My sister's lost all the quiet enjoyment out of her property. And this is the easement that they wanted her to sign at the time. And this is tens of thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money to fix the private sewer lines of two wealthy property owners. And I find this shameless, that the city was giving my sister $1 and she was going to give it back for a multi-million-dollar piece of property, and property rights are bought. They're not given away. And I just like to know what's going on right now, because I'm not getting anywhere with the people down at the city.
I'm going to have to refer you to Mr. Shealy, who's the head of utilities, because I'm not privy to that. But just for orientation, the piece you're referring to is, which building is yours?
It's 2015 Green Street. And Mr. Mayor, there's other problems with this too.
That's the empty building next to Old Garibaldi's?
Yes, and I would like to say to you, the only reason that building's empty is because somebody down at the city has been sabotaging my sister. She could have that building rented every week. And I would like to, if I would give me the time, to tell you about one particular person that came in 2016. They did a first and second site approval on the building, one of the largest corporations in the world. And they told my sister that she had the real estate agent first. I'd like to say that the real estate agent came forward that was working for him. He tried to buy the building for a little over $3 million, and my sister didn't sell it to him.
She should have sold it for $3 million.
Well, I don't think so. And
I've seen that property. I would have taken it.
Well, it's a very valuable piece of property, Mr. Mayor. And the corporation told her that it was a high-profile building. And for them, it had the best location in Columbia. It was sitting in front of the fountain in a high-traffic area down from the University of South Carolina. So we told when they sent in, the real estate agent came back and told us that they were going to take the building and they were doing a due diligence. And they sent in a team of people from 2 different parts of the country, and they did a state-of-the-art due diligence on the building. When they were finished, they went, wow, what a building. He said, we can't believe it because the pictures you sent weren't anything like the building is. The real estate agent told us it was a done deal, and I said, well, you don't know that. He said, I don't. It's a done deal. They're taking the building. So they went down to the city of Columbia, and my sister looked at me. She said, no, it's not. I said, I know that too. We didn't hear back from him. I called the real estate agent. He didn't answer the phone. So I decided to call the corporation, not the person that we were working with, which was Amazon. And the person who was working for Amazon said, Ms. Wagner, we can't help you because we have to work with the City of Columbia, but you have a serious problem with the City of Columbia. They told us we could not rent your building. Seriously? Amazon? Can you imagine what Amazon would have done for 5 points? So we do have a problem with that building, Mr. Mayor, and I would like you to get involved in this and see what's going on.
Well, we're going to get you connected with Mr. Shealy before you leave so we can try to resolve the current issue and look into what's going on. Okay. And then we'll follow up with you. But thank you for bringing it to our attention.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Mayor. We have Mr. Mustafa Abdullah. We will remind Mr. Abdullah that the time limit is 3 minutes.
Honorable Mayor, how you doing?
Doing well, sir. Thank you.
First and foremost, let me say thank you to you, Mayor, for your leadership. You're a great leader. I want to say thank you. I'm here today because of the fact that we have an issue when it comes down to student academic. I read the report card for South Carolina Department of Education. Elementary schools, below average, unsatisfactory. Before I rush on and say that, let me thank you for coming, you and Ms. McDowell, for coming to Hayward Career Center. Hayward Career Center, unfortunately, many people don't know anything about it. And I hope that on the sound of my voice, if you don't know anything about Hayward Career Center, please find out about it and let's get involved. We need to recognize 2 individuals from Hayward Career Center. One of them being Tyler Clerk, a diesel technology student awarded the 2024 Work-Based Learning Award by South Carolina Department of Education, Tyler Clerk. In addition, Bryson Wilson, chosen for National Skill Competition, Job Skill Demonstration, which will be in June. In regards to the academic dying amongst our students, it's problematic for me and it should be problematic to everyone on the sound of my voice. I would like for the council to support the mayor, because he's a great leader, to organize local government, state government, county government. Coming out of Tacoma, Seattle, Washington, government works together. I haven't seen that here. I haven't seen the city council work with the county council work with the state government, legislature. We serve the same constituency. We have to address this problem. As you well know, as we well know, education is a passport to the future. On the side of my voice, I challenge each and every one of you in here to take a look at the report card from Richland 1 and Richland 2. Unsatisfactory for one elementary school. It's unacceptable. But for many, it's totally unacceptable. In addition to that, we would like for the city council to support the mayor in creating a Daniel Rickman Youth Leadership Institute, which would be a multicultural 4-year level round leadership training and development program for young people aged 14 to 19. And that can be altered. Training model emphasizing practical hand-on experience and a holistic approach to developing leaders of the 21st century. We need that. And in that is some solutions, vast solutions to curtail the issue. We have to begin to prepare future leaders. You're a great leader. We're talking about leaving legacy behind. That's what we're talking about, leaving legacy behind. When you look at that piece with the Leadership Institute, inside of that, what you have inside of that is we need to create, we need to partner with the colleges with their Leadership Institute. And there's a model. I'll let you know about that model.
Share with us.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely share with you that model. Inside of that, we're talking about partnering with the colleges. We're talking about creating a job program. And we can work on that for next year. In DC, many years ago, they had over 10, 20,000 youth working. But my main concern is that we need this Leadership Institute. My main concern, speaking on behalf of the community, is that we need to address the academic of our students. The academic is down. It's down, it's down. And we have to bring everyone to the table. I'm sure you're familiar with PPP, public-private partnership. Maybe that might be the solution. Maybe that may be the solution. But the reality is, I talked to some of the other legislative councilmen, individual, well, that ain't my problem. No, yes it is. It's our problem. So I'm asking the city council to support you in this organizing and mobilizing.
Thank you for being here, number one. Number two, I think, our first and foremost, our step is to really support and share what's going on at the Hayward Career
Absolutely
Center.
so, absolutely so.
It is absolutely an amazing asset for us as a city, and I think the conversations of getting the business community engaged there.
And we thank you.
Taking advantage of the resources that are there and how we transport that, not just for the students, but the group of young people
That's right.
that are out there and bring them in, take advantage if it's
That's
the
right.
barbering.
That's right, that's right, that's right,
cosmetology,
that's
the-
right.
The welding, the diesel mechanics.
That's right.
You know, the auto mechanic, the $100,000 simulator for
Exactly.
CDL driving.
Mhm.
So yes, we want to work together to really, I think that's our first step because that's that asset. And then we can work together to build up. But thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add, I think that's a fantastic name for the Institute as well. That was recommended. Daniel.
Is that a motion?
I don't know, it may be too early to move, but it'll pass, I believe, if Tina had moved.
I think we ought to put our efforts
We'll
and our
defer.
minds in that career
Defer it.
center. But thank you.
I'll be glad to discuss that with my Richland One alumni grads about
I'm going to
that.
call Bernadette. She'll be in my corner.
Mayor, we have Mr. Wade Fulmer.
Good afternoon. Continuing with the animal control non-enforcement nuisance. Reminder, there were no barking problems in the first 2 of 6 years of the neighbor's arrival. Dog was not left outside when no one is at home, and no dog door would allowed at-will access. Updating the long list, I provided the last couple of meetings of being awakened. April the 8th, since the last council meeting, April the 8th, awakened by the dog barking at 5:30, April the 12th, 6:52 a.m., April the 13th, 6:07 a.m., and the weekends are just not good. April the 14th, Sunday, 4:24 a.m., as was Good Friday and Easter, same thing. Yesterday was interesting. We're back to once in a while in the afternoon, 4:15 to yesterday, Monday. The dog barked from 5:23 till 6:45, and nobody was at home. Administration should no longer delay needed now resolutions, should not allow continuing repeat nuisance harm to this neighbor victim. The victim is awaiting effected legal compliance with code. The humane applies to both human and dog. The humane quality of life code intent for order and health by enforcement. End of nuisance, not if, when again, barking. Very quickly, the 4 questions summarized. Why 17 months before a ticket? 2, who, why, when 2 more flagrant, clear violations, no tickets? Animal control enforcement on April the 10th last year and 9/26/23, and the animal control supervisor told me they won't let us. Who is they? Why were the accumulated reports evidence given by Columbia Police Department, Southeastern Region Officer Gunner and Captain Blendowski, to animal control to provide the city legal, tampering withheld, not given by animal control to city legal, thus did not get to court? Why, given the above facts and the assistance of Columbia Police Department and dispatch all those years, why should credibility of those duty and more doers be questioned? They are appreciated for their noted efforts. Division of Animal Control's non-enforcement of code seems policy, quote, chatting from the letter I got from the neighbor, status quo, and there's no accountability. Why? Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Will, you have anything? Any
Thank you very
questions?
much.
Thank you, sir.
No one else has signed up.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy. I am a resident of Greenview Community. And great afternoon, everybody. Good to see you.
How are you?
I am absolutely speaking against the city detect cameras that you're going to be placing on the back of trucks. It appears that you've already done so for 12 weeks. I think that type of technology is redundant to placing it on the back of trucks, somebody's sitting and watching a camera, and then sending someone out to confirm that it's an issue. I am very much in favor of the in-person employment of our code enforcement. If I'm not mistaken, you cannot even get a citation without it being witnessed by code enforcement from the street. So the fee of $48,000 for the first year and the increased fee of $100,000 that most recently came from the beautification grant should be better used to help the people that have issues. In my community, the Greenview community, most of our issues are because people can't afford to do the things that are necessary. And if you have beautification grant money, then I think it should be used to help people beautify their homes and their property. I am very much against the idea of our freedoms being violated with cameras on the back of trucks going through our community, citing us on things we can't afford. So with that, I know that these cameras are picking up much more than just pieces of trash and litter. And if the goal is truly to beautify and to stop litter, then that's not what a camera does. It cites what people are doing. And the problem has already happened when the camera actually sees it. So I just think with loving each other and caring for each other and using grant beautification money to help people do the things they need to do, then we can have our communities become cleaner and safer and healthier. So that's my 2-3 minutes, and I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here.
So please take that into consideration when you
We heard you. We always do.
that our civil liberties are being violated, and we should be concerned and contacted and have a decision in that process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. Is there anyone else? Hearing none, Mr. Brennan, I'll entertain a motion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we enter into executive session for item number 29, receipt of legal advice relating to a pending, threatened, or potential claim pursuant to SC Code 30-4-70A2, Antoinette Anderson versus City of Columbia. Item 30, receipt of legal advice which relates to matters covered by attorney-client privilege pursuant to SC Code 30-4-70A2, Loomis Fiber of South Carolina LLC franchise agreement. And last, item 31, discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements pursuant to SC Code 30-4-70A2, DMH surplus property.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles? Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.